video by Ben Shapiro is hilarious. He spends like 10 minutes complaining about how how much he hates Chelsea Handler because she doesn't have a kid. And this shows what Ben Shapiro thinks about women and how their only purpose in life and the only way to be happy is for women to have kids.
That I hate. Alrighty, so it's Valentine's Day, which means it's time for all the sad single people to come out of the woodwork and cry. But pretend that they're super happy, because that is what we do on every national holiday now. We find the marginalized, and then we talk about how miserable they are because there's a day that other people are celebrating, and that's really, really bad. This annoys me in every guise. Okay, there used to be a time, I remember, when it would be Christmas time, and you'd have all these articles, what do Jews do on Christmas? You know what we do? We go about our daily business. That's what we do. And Christmas is great. I'm glad people are celebrating it. Enjoy. You don't have to celebrate a holiday in order for you to feel good that other people are celebrating a particular holiday. Who cares? It's fine. Unless you're talking about it having national ramifications for you specifically, who cares? But what we get every Valentine...
Not people... It's not that, like, people aren't happy that other people are happy. It's that a lot of people during the holidays become unhappy because they have, like during the Christmas time, there's a lot of elderly people that become unhappy about Christmas because they don't have family to celebrate with. And it's reasonable that, they become sad about that. A lot of those people probably just, remembering about the times when they did spend with their family. And because they don't have family, hey, I'm a little bit sad today. It's reasonable.
Valentine's Day is a spate of very, very unhappy people talking about how happy they are. I'm really, really happy, they say as they cry. So Chelsea Handler is a perfect example of this. Chelsea Handler, who I don't know who decided she was funny and when, and how hard they had hit their head on the toilet before inventing the flux capacitor. But
that's funny. So because he doesn't think Chelsea Handler is funny, somehow there was some kind of secret vote to dictate if Chelsea Handler was funny. I mean, there's a lot of people that think she's funny. There's a lot of people that don't think she's funny. It doesn't mean you hit your head on something.
But who actually decided Chelsea Handler was funny? This is one of these unanswerable questions in life. It's like trying to find out what's on the interior of a black hole. Who was the person responsible for this decision?
All the people that thought she was funny, they are responsible for that?
No one knows. No one knows. Again, one of the great mysteries of creation. Well, she has put out a video on Valentine's Day. It is titled Day in the Life of a Childless Woman for Comedy Central's The Daily Show. And it has some interesting things to say about society. Here is Chelsea Handler's Day in the Life of a Childless Woman.
This is a day in the life of a childless woman. I wake up at 6 a.m. I remember that I have no kids to take to school, so I take an edible, masturbate, and go back to sleep. I wake up at 12:30 p.m. and get ready for a busy day of doing whatever the I feel like. I put on my most impractical and stylish shoes since I won't be chasing a child around the grocery store. I go to my fave spot in Paris to grab a croissant. I do a meditation sesh on the plane since I have no screaming kids, allowing me all the time in the world to become enlightened. The weightlessness of my existence has granted me superhuman powers. I teleport myself back home. Then I get ready for a night out with whatever hot guy I met on Raya that morning. I call up a babysitter and tell her that I don't need her since I still don't have kids. Now it's time for a workout, so I hit Mount Everest for a quick climb. I invent a time machine, go back in time, and kill Hitler.
Freeze, you bastard!
It's amazing what you can do when you have this much free time. And that's a day in the life of a childless woman.
So first off, did you come anywhere within a few light years of a laugh in that particular video?
I mean, your audience may not find her funny, but her audience finds her funny. And I don't see why it's so important that your audience doesn't. But hey, you want to be pretty bitter about this for some reason. Maybe it's the fact that she's funnier than you.
Anyway, nobody? No one's laughing? Okay, but there's something that's way more important about this video. And it really is kind of important. And that is, this lady is miserable. I mean, she is miserable. And it's written all over her face how miserable she is. because she doesn't have kids.
Wow, okay, so he thinks Chelsea Handler is miserable, and it's written all over her face. She looked pretty happy, especially when she was killing Hitler, which, you think Ben Shapiro would be happy about that, but I guess not. But Ben Shapiro thinks Chelsea Handler is unhappy because she doesn't have kids, and Ben Shapiro thinks the only way she can be happy if she has a kid. That's crazy logic. That women are only happy if some man knocks them up.
It turns out having kids is really good for you. Now again, you shouldn't have kids because of your sense of subjective pleasure, but
Well, no, having kids isn't really the best for you. Besides, like, all the bodily changes that can happen, damage that can happen from giving birth, like the United States is pretty high in the death of the mother from birth, which is, crazy. You think, the death rate of women giving birth wouldn't be high in the United States, but it's relatively high. So having kids isn't relatively good for you. And besides the fact how expensive kids are, and that most people can't afford kids nowadays, having a kid isn't what is needed to keep somebody happy.
But the reality is that being embedded in life, being embedded in time, being embedded in that chain of generations we talked about earlier, it's very good for you as a person. Otherwise, you end up as a dope on the Twitters, putting up videos about masturbating at 7 a.m. and eating edibles like Chelsea Handler.
Wow, is he mad that he can't masturbate and eat edibles while posting on Twitter like Chelsea Handler? I mean, what's so bad about that? And does he also believe that she went back in time and killed Hitler? Because if he did believe that, that's crazy. I mean,
that's what you end up like. There's the telltale sign is this. She starts off her day and she talks about probably what she actually does, right? She does pot, right? She does an edible, and then she masturbates, and then she goes back to bed, and then she wakes up late.
does he not? He honestly doesn't understand that she was doing a bit for the Daily Show. Like, that's a comedy show. And Ben Shapiro thinks all that was real. This is hilarious. He cannot differentiate between, like, reality and a comedy show.
And then she puts on her most stylish shoes. And then she does a series of things that she doesn't do during the day, right? She names a bunch of things that you can do if you're a single lady with no man and no kids. What you can do today. You can get on a plane. You can go to Paris. You can pick up a croissant. You can go see the Mona Lisa. You can invent a time machine and go back in time and kill Hitler. What did she actually do?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things you can do if you don't have a kid. Yeah, I mean, it's easier to go on a vacation when you don't have a kid. It's easier to go to a store when you don't have a kid. It's easier to do a lot of things when you don't have a kid. And that's what she was pointing out. And for some reason, Ben Shapiro cannot understand that.
That day, she got a camera. She made a bad video. She drank a shitload of wine. And she went back to sleep. That's what she did that day. She didn't do any of those things. We get to more on this in just...
Okay, so what's wrong with somebody deciding to drink some wine and going to sleep? Ben Shapiro acts like people doing things with their life is somehow bad because it doesn't involve having a kid.
Just 1 second. First, let's talk about the fact that the inflation report is due out today. It's not going to be amazing because the simple fact is that our federal government has no idea how to actually keep within its boundaries.
I think that was the end of that clip, so I'm going to end this here. Peace.